This is my garden bed, and you know it's mine and not my husband's because it's kind of messy. This is his garden bed, and everything's equally spaced, and we just harvested some garlic. I also have goats and chickens and rabbits, and so they're in the back, and we wanted something a little more visually appealing in the front. So we started out with the herbs and the raised beds, and we also get really good sunlight here. But when we moved in, the people before us had been parking their cars on it, and it was just hard-packed earth. So we really had to build the soil a lot and work in a lot of straw and compost and chicken manure. And the animals have been really helpful in getting the front yard a really thriving garden. This is a new garden bed. I was thinking about doing a hugelkultur, and that's when you put like big branches down and then compost on top of that and then plant into that. And I didn't really like the way it looked, so we stripped the branches out, and we're going to put a raised bed here. But this year we just needed to get it planted, and so we have some corn, and the kids planted some watermelon. They're still pretty little. I'm not sure how they're gonna do, but there's one, and here's one.
So your kids get to participate?
They do. They like to help plant. They like to play with the animals. They're usually out here looking for berries because there's strawberries kind of tucked in everywhere, and there's some raspberries too. This garden I've had to really put a lot of effort into building up the soil. It's under cedar, which is difficult for plants to grow in. So there is a lot of chicken bedding underneath the topsoil in this garden. And then we also have straw on the top because it gets so dry that I just can't keep up with the watering. But the straw mulch keeps the plants moist, and it really helps them survive under the tree. And all of these are shade-loving vegetables, lettuce and spinach and kale. And then we're kind of at the end of the season for those, which is why they're a little straggly, but they've been doing really well this year. Down the side, it's nice and hot, so that's where I like to put my tomatoes. My daughter loves cherry tomatoes, so I plant those for her, and she just comes and helps herself. And then I also have aroma over here.
What do you do with the Roma?
The Romas are really good for turning into ketchup and tomato sauce. They're the best for processing and saving.
So you make your own ketchup and tomato sauce and that kind of thing?
I do. And then these leeks are really fun. These I just bought from a grocery store, and they still had the roots on them. So I trimmed off the tops and used the leeks, and then I planted the roots in, and then they grew, and I trimmed them back down and ate the leeks last year, and then this year I decided to let them go to seed. So this was scraps really that we planted and now is turned into bee food.
I love how you're just really filling up almost any space you have.
Yeah, nooks and crannies where you may not think are good garden spaces sometimes will surprise you, and you can get quite a good harvest from something.
And like down here.
Yes, this is the strip of our by our driveway, and we planted raspberries, and they've just gone crazy. Most days you'll see my kids out picking raspberries, and we've gotten cups and cups just from a few feet at the edge of our driveway.